Hello everyone and welcome back to Mediak. So I think I decided to play, review, and rank every single video game ever made. And as of right now, we have Marvel's Spider-Man 2 as the best game ever made, and also the worst game ever made. I've only reviewed one game so far. God, this is going to take a while. I had a hard time deciding what game I wanted to play after Spider-Man. I first started One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, but I just didn't fall in love with it. I thought about Pathologic 2 because of H-Bomber Guy, but I soon realized that was a horrible idea. Then one day I saw a game on Amazon that called to me. I can't exactly say what it was, but I knew this game would be amazing. I asked for it for my birthday, and my amazing mother got it for me. And I sat down and started. This game was one of the best video games I've ever played in my entire life. It was simple, but engaging. From the moment I started the game, I knew I needed to make a video on it. Well, anyway, that video won't be coming out for a while. I needed to finish an animation for it. Sackboy was a fun game. Not one of the best games I've ever played. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is a spin-off series for the Little Big Planet series. To give context to what Little Big Planet is, I have a quote from my friend Brent. Little Big Planet, in my opinion, is a game engine disguised as a 2D-ish platformer. The original trilogy has levels and worlds based on different environments, both around the world and fictional environments, but also has a moon for creating your own levels. It is one of the most fun and accessible platformers for all ages, and has something to offer to fans of even not platformer players. TLDR, it's peak. It's a little hard to word it without being so open in the description, because that game literally can be anything you want it to be. Thank you, Brent. You are the GOAT. Check him out in the description below. This sucks ass because there's no legitimate Little Big Planet game that is playable anymore. I think that fact hurt the Sackboy game a lot. I have a few friends that will never play the game because it isn't a Little Big Planet game. I feel like that's kind of valid. This game is a lot more like Mario than it is like Little Big Planet. Be prepared to hear that comparison a lot more throughout the video. Anywho, Sackboy is a game about Sackboy. He lives in a place called Craft World, which is a universe where there's hello worlds and they're all created of all sorts of different crafts. Everyone is chilling and happy, and then this big guy named Vex appears and captures all the little sack folk. Using his topsy-turvy, he plans to start an uproar and take over Craft World. Sackboy manages to get away from him and now has to travel from world to world, stopping Vex, saving Craft World. The plot isn't the most riveting part of the game, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It is very evident that this game was based on Mario, specifically Super Mario 3D World. This seems like Sony's attempt at exactly that game. None of the Mario games have the most complex story, so I can't get upset with this game for having a fine one. I think it would have been really nice to have a crazy story, because then it would have truly separated itself from the Mario games, but I'm not necessarily upset about that. Also, spoiler incoming. There's a twist at the end that I liked a lot, and it explained a bit that I didn't like at the beginning. There also were these pseudo-stories within each world. None of them were super interesting to me other than the robot one. I actually love the robot world a lot. The power-up is the most fun in the game, and the entire vibe of the world is the most interesting. On top of that, I think the robot world has the second best boss in the game, not only because it reminded me of an Undertale fight, but because there was some emotional connection to it. It wasn't just another vexed creature or Vex. It was our robot friend that needed help. Even though it was pretty obvious that she was going to be the boss from the very first level, it was still a really fun fight. While we were on the topic of bosses, I really hated how most of Vex's fights were exactly the same except for the final one. I actually dropped the game an entire point whenever I got to the final level, and it was the same Vex fight I did 3 other times. And I was so relieved whenever I was wrong and there were actually 2 more levels with an even better boss fight. Levels! Talk about smooth transition. I liked all of the levels for the most part. I think World 2, the jungle, is the worst world, mainly because the levels weren't as memorable. And there's this insane glitch in one of the levels. For some unknown reason, there is a level that just won't open the ending spot. If you get to the end and see a thing that says pay here and there's not a finishing spot, then you're going to have to restart. Like, fully restarting. This game came out in modern times and it is several years old. How the hell is this glitch still in the game? Whatever, it doesn't really matter that much. Let's talk about the good levels. Bruno Mars and Brittney Spears. This game has licensed music levels, and everything within the level goes along to the tune of the specific song. World 1 has Uptown Funk, and Space World has Toxic. These are simply the best levels in the game. Actually, I think all of the levels have amazing music. The scores on each level were so fun and amazing. I usually listen to YouTube or something while I play games, but I pause it several times just to listen to the music and enjoy the game. There's an incredibly fun and happy vibe to this game. If you're sad or just in a bad mood, start up Sackboy and there's a chance you'll have a good time. If the music doesn't cheer you up, then you'll get a smile from how goofy the customization can be. I feel like every single time I started the game, I put on a new costume. And I just really want to add this. Fuck you, Spider-Man. Why couldn't you have had the costumes in the cutscenes? There is limited customization in Spider-Man 2, but every single cutscene had Peter in whatever suit is needed for the moment. Sackboy actually puts your custom character into every cutscene. This is huge if you know the game. Nearly every part of Sackboy has its own selection of clothes, and each of those has a giant variety of colors. And still, my goofy little goober is standing next to Scarlet and Vex. So this game mode is co-op, like Mario. And I was going to force my girlfriend or roommate to play this game with me, but I decided against it. There were certain levels within the game that required 2 players to play it, and I just felt like it wasn't worth it to go through those. I didn't mind the life system. You only have 2 hits per life and 4 lives per level. It's easy to die, but that's okay because dying doesn't really mean anything in this game because nothing resets until you lose all of your lives. I never encountered this, but I guarantee you would in co-op. 4 lives is not a lot for 2 players, let alone 4. I never loved this game enough to force people to play with me. I didn't want to subject them to the stupid dream orbies. I enjoyed the game, but not enough to get all those stupid fucking dream bubbles. My biggest complaint about the game is that there's too many of those stupid bubbles and they were way too well hidden. This is a kid's game, and I doubt kids will get some of those bubbles. Also, Mario only had 3 coins per level. 5 is way too much. The 3 orb levels were consistently the best levels because I was actually able to focus on the beautifully crafted levels instead of looking for the most stupid locations for the stupid fucking orbs. Also, I'm sorry if you wanted me to do the final secret world. Not happening. Maybe in a few months, but fuck getting all of those orbs, man. Me and my homies hate Dreamer orbs. Comment down below what you hate. Wait, please, actually don't do that. I don't want to know that. Comment down something that you love. I'll start. I love the short film my friend made called The Tragedy of Dr. Solomon. It's funny, and I'll link it below. And if you like that, watch the sequel, Little Sandman. Alright, I guess I'll finally give the end number for this game, whatever. I like this game a lot. There really was a lot of love and care put into every Hobby Lobby object used to create literally everything in this game. However, there were a few minor flaws that kept it back from being amazing, like a handful of glitches and a poor story. My biggest complaint is that I could just never justify recommending this over a Mario game. Well, obviously unless you only have a Sony product. Sackboy manages to fully separate itself from Little Big Planet, but couldn't separate itself from Mario. If you love Mario, play this. But I don't know anyone else so I could recommend this to. Sackboy, A Big Adventure. 6.5 out of 10. Not Little Big Planet. It is going firmly under Spider-Man 2, which is the best video game ever made by Mediak rankings, and Sackboy is the worst. Let me know what games you want me to review next. Just comment something. I want to do every game ever, so I'll have to get to it eventually. Also, subscribe, please. Okay, bye.